Very warm welcome to you. Good evening and welcome to the TV47 Daily Report, coming to you live from the home of untold stories. And as you can see, the team is complete and we're here and we mean business.
And as we mean business, we discuss just so much so what is in the world of hearing. It is very important that we sensitize ourselves, that we create that awareness as to, the aspect of the hearing and care reality. That's basically what we'll be discussing this time around on the People's Court. Perhaps just getting into that mood of the aspect of health. Last week, we discussed so much so about hypertension and diabetes in children.
Yes.
And of course, today we focus much on celebrating a day that was there on the 3rd of March. That was on Sunday.
Yes. By the way, Linda, it's very interesting that 20% of the entire world, 20% of people actually have some sort of hearing loss or hearing impairment.
Right.
And that constitutes to close to 500 million people.
That's a huge number. That means some of them have been born with this impairment. Some of them have acquired this somewhere along the way. That's why we need that aspect of awareness and sensitization.
And tonight we shall be bringing to you experts in this field. We have a doctor. We also have a CEO of Kenya Society for Deaf Children, as well as the chairman for Deaf Artists Culture Association of Kenya. We shall be joined, of course, by sign language interpreters. Of course, they must have forgotten to introduce themselves. That is Victor Miakane. This is Linda Alela. I'm George Maringa.
Hold on.
Yamai is on sign language interpretation.
Do you know your sign?
Catherine Simaloy.
Oh, because
my sign is George.
Oh, and yours? Do you remember yours?
Rhoda seems like this. Yeah, like this. Oh, like this.
And it's mine like this, right?
Yours like, all right.
Or like this.
And of course, Catherine Simala will be joining us because we have our special guests who will be... The team is complete. And that conversation, of course, will be coming your way in a short while at Muyakane, at Linda_Alela, at George Maringa_ is where you can find us on X, formerly Twitter, or at TV47 News. But first...
The highlights.
The highlights.
Right.
Tonight, 2 people dead, over 40 escape unhurt as aircrafts collide mid-air in Nairobi. EACC unearths loss of billions at the National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF, after months of probe.
Even the few hospitals that we found out undertaking malpractices, it takes a long process. The review process, it takes long.
Plus, Azimio leaders now allege plot to derail NADCO report.
Regrettably, we have also been informed of forces within KK, in and outside of Parliament, who are determined to undermine the report.
We thank you for choosing TV47 to inform you on this 5th day of March 2024. Our SMS lines are open 22047. Start with your name, where you're watching us from, as well, followed by your question or feedback regarding the program tonight as we discuss matters hearing tonight. 2 people have died after a training aircraft and a passenger plane collided at Nairobi National Park. The Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, KCAA, in a statement says the collision occurred at around 10:05 a.m., causing the smaller training plane to fall on the ground, tragically claiming the lives of both the student and the trainer aboard. The passenger plane involved in the accident was a Dash 8 owned by Safari Link en route to Diani with 39 passengers and 5 crew members on board. Unfortunately, all the passengers and crew on the Dash 8 escaped unharmed. Away from that, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has uncovered systemic loopholes that have facilitated significant financial mismanagement and corruption within the National Insurance Fund, NHIF. The audit, led by EACC Chairperson Bishop Dr. David Oginde, has revealed system gaps in the benefits package, weak internal controls on claims management, and a fragile ICT framework that fuels corruption. The NHIF Graft Report aims to instigate essential reforms and combat corruption within the new Social Health Authority.
4 months left before the country bids farewell to NHIF that will be replaced by the Social Health Authority. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has stepped in by launching the NHIF Graft Report to ensure there will be no incident of corruption in the new health scheme. The EACC report has revealed that 3 members of staff at NHIF irregularly amended member details for some healthcare providers, occasioning a loss of 29.9 million Kenya shillings. Additionally, a supply chain officer at NHIF was found to have fraudulently amended healthcare providers' data on capitation, resulting to a loss of 953,100 Kenya shillings. He was, however, warned, exonerated of the offense and transferred to a branch closer to family due to health issues.
There is going to be a vetting process to ensure that only those officers who are clean, who are not corrupt, who have not been found in any corrupt practices are the ones who are going to employ in the new Social Health Authority.
And only those who are suitably qualified and clearly those who have got the kind of integrity that we require are going to be onboarded.
A review of the 2022-2023 financial year report indicated that NHIF made a surplus of 3 billion Kenya shillings. Another key issue established in the report is duplicity in some of the benefits packages offered by NHIF, including Edu Afya, Linda Mama, and UHC. For example, in the Edu Afya contract, the dental benefit was captured at 5,000 Kenya shillings, while Hicks indicated a cost of 4,000 Kenya shillings for the same benefit. In Nakuru County, the Linda Mama inpatient and outpatient claims had accumulated to 8.9 million Kenya shillings and 1.4 million Kenya shillings respectively for the period between February 2021 and September 2023.
We are saying we simply leave that once you are deregistered, you're just removed from the system. You will not be able to be entitled to any claims.
But I would be reluctant to empanel anybody who has got an active or ongoing case.
In the 2022-2023 financial year, the civil servant scheme made a loss of 1.6 billion Kenya shillings. The Edu Afya scheme made a loss of 274.4 million Kenya shillings, while the Kenya Association of Retired Officers scheme made a loss of 507.8 million Kenya shillings.
I would just assure members of the public
that any resources that were stolen from or through NHIF will be pursued until they are brought back or the people who are involved are brought to book.
Some of the report recommendations that EACC wants implemented within 30 days include development of guidelines for ICT users to ensure transparency and accountability, enhanced efficiency for healthcare providers, and the use of electronic contracting systems.
The report is said to be very important to the new Social Health Authority in order to develop a strong foundation for corruption prevention. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for that. Azimio la Umoja coalition leaders have raised concerns about perceived mischief from a faction of Kenya Kwanza leaders regarding the NADCO report currently before Parliament. Led by former Ndaragwa MP Jeremiah Kioni, the leaders say that they are worried about a section of Kenya Kwanza leaders who they claim are plotting to derail the implementation of the report. Here now is Paul Kirobi with more.
As a section of Kenya Kwanza MPs continue to campaign for Raila Odinga's bid as the next chairperson of the African Union Commission, others within the same faction seem determined to derail the National Dialogue Committee's report NADCO. Speaking during a meeting attended by Azimio leader Raila Odinga and key Azimio la Umoja party leaders, former Ndaragwa MP Jeremiah Kioni said that influential people within the Kenya Kwanza government are determined to block the implementation of certain bills, calling on President William Ruto to intervene on the matter.
We have also been informed of forces within KK, in and outside of Parliament, who are determined to undermine the report and the bills. We notify those forces that should any efforts to undermine or tamper with the report succeed, there will be very heavy price to pay.
The Azimio faction believes the goal is to kill the report before it is fully implemented. Kioni has confirmed that 9 bills are currently lined up for implementation. One of the key proposals that have been successful is the 2/3 gender rule. Recently, Raila Odinga met with gender CS Aisha Jumwa. Additionally, the cost of living, which is among the controversial matter, is likely to ignite another debate. The report also recommends the reconstitution of the IEBC selection panel, comprising 9 members, and outlines the intervals within which the review of boundaries may be conducted. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Paul Kirobi, for that. President William Ruto says the East African heads of state have resolved to back Azimio leader Raila Odinga's candidature to the African Union Commission, a crucial step for the Azimio leader. The president, who addressed the plenary sitting of the East Africa Legislative Assembly here in Nairobi, said the move arose after consultations with his fellow heads of state. Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga is expected to kick off a continental shuttle diplomacy to secure the vote early next year, which requires one to get a 2/3 majority.
Good morning, General. How are you?
President William Ruto's affirmation that East African heads of state have resolved to support Azimio leader Raila Odinga's candidature for the AUC post is not only a major win for the Azimio leader, but a statement that Kenya and East Africa are leaving nothing to chance to clinch the seat early next year.
We have sat down in the spirit of the East African community. We have consulted as heads of state from the East African community together, and we have agreed to sponsor one candidate as East Africans. As East Africans, because that is the strength of our community.
The president's announcement on East Africa's unity is a departure from the 2017 election that saw Uganda, Djibouti and Burundi refuse to vote for former CS Amina Mohamed after 7 rounds of voting, a move that cost the taxpayer $3.5 million or 500 million Kenya shillings after 3 months of intensive campaigns.
We can do things together, and we can consult amongst one another. So it speaks to the spirit of the leadership that is being provided by our region.
Odinga, who chaired the Azimio Summit on Tuesday, is expected to kick off an intensive lobbying campaign to win the continent's other regional blocs, and is expected to face off with former Somalia Foreign Affairs Minister Fawzia Adam, who has declared her bid publicly so far.
I'll be going to not just Rwanda, I'll be going to many other African countries, and just watch this space. I need to talk to many leaders across the continent. Because you know that a candidate to be successful must get two-thirds physically, first round or second round. If you don't get two-thirds, then you're not elected. So I have to dialogue with virtually all leadership of the continent.
Caught between politics at home and campaigning for the Africa Union chairmanship bid, Odinga will be navigating an unfamiliar terrain as he solicits for government support, which is now guaranteed. The government, which will nominate Odinga, has initiated a multi-pronged lobbying campaign, with Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi meeting African diplomatic corps on Monday to campaign for Odinga. Ahead of May, when candidates are expected to have submitted their papers, the African Union tells member states to nominate former heads of state and foreign ministers and Africans who have excelled at statecraft. Potential candidates must also have a master's degree and doctorate in law or economics and diplomacy as well, and a proven leadership record. Voting is by secret ballot, and the winning candidate elected for a 4-year renewable term only once must garner a 2/3 majority vote. Apul Kamau, TV47.
And we shall be following for you the intrigues of that bid. Health Cabinet Secretary, that is Susan Nakhumicha, has addressed the issue of delayed intern postings today, urging doctors to remain patient as the ministry works towards a lasting solution. The CS has assured doctors that discussions with union officials are currently underway to resolve the matter. Now, this comes just days after the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union issued a 7-day ultimatum threatening a nationwide strike. Nakhumicha has stressed on the importance of dialogue, stating that a strike will not solve the matter. Kisewa Emery with the details.
The silence was deafening, but finally, the Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakhumicha has addressed the ongoing issue of medical interns that push doctors to take to the streets. Speaking at Afya House, the Health Cabinet Secretary stated that the ministry is actively engaged with union officials to find a resolution to the intern posting issue.
Call to the unions is to allow a discussion and conversation to take place. As I have said, there are many things that we need to discuss. A strike will not resolve. A solution will only be found when we sit on the table and discuss as all stakeholders.
Apart from addressing the necessary funding, the CS emphasized that the ministry is considering factors such as the availability of trainers to supervise the interns. She added that union officials held a meeting with PS Mary Muthoni Tuesday in an effort to break the deadlock and find common ground.
So we must bring all these stakeholders on the table, and not that we are beginning now. We have been having these conversations, they are ongoing. So mine is to ask for their patience as we finalize that from the meeting they have had with the PS, I'm going to be briefed. We will find a way forward. This matter is not so big that it's unsurmountable. I said we had a priority. And one of the important pillars of universal health coverage is health workers.
This comes just a day after the medics issued a 7-day ultimatum for the Ministry of Health to act. According to KMPDU, there are currently 1,215 medical interns awaiting placement, with some having waited for either 6 months or a year.
So let them give us time to settle this matter. I know they are anxious about the posting, but once we resolve the outstanding issues, once we bring everybody on the table to discuss, and there's already progress, we will be able to communicate to them before the time that they have given us. We'll be able to communicate to them a solution.
Kisewa Emery, TV47.
Now, armed youths guarding a disputed piece of land worth 1.3 billion shillings in Loresho today temporarily detained Lands Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome by locking the gates upon her arrival. Wahome had visited the prime land to assist the rightful owners in accessing the expansive parcel along Lower Kabete Road following a court order. Upon Wahome's arrival with a team from her ministry, tens of youth guarding the land immediately locked the only exit gate after she entered. Police officers were then forced to pursue a suspect believed to be the commander of the ununiformed guards, compelling him to break the padlock after failing to produce the keys.
A tense situation was witnessed on an 18-acre piece of land in Loresho area here in Nairobi as police officers accompanied by Lands Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome attempted to access the area allegedly owned by businessman Ashok Kumar Ruto. The land, valued at 1.35 billion shillings, became the center of controversy when officers encountered resistance from youth guarding the property. One man was arrested for allegedly causing disturbances during the altercation. Eventually, the gates were opened, allowing access to businessman Ashok Kumar, CS Alice Wahome and their team.
These people have cried in my office and said they want to invest on this land, but they cannot access because of goons who have the audacity to lock the gate. We've actually have to break that gate for me to get out under our police and the police officers.
Former Nairobi Provincial Commissioner Davis Nathan Chelagoi is facing accusations from Ashok for allegedly breaching court orders by unlawfully occupying the land. Court rulings and judgments, including a High Court case numbered 312 of 2009, have sided with Ashok Kumar Ruto and Hiten Kumar against the late Jacob Juma, establishing them as rightful owners of the land.
I'm just giving the OCPD time to organize himself because there may be a bit of work to do, including a report to me after he has executed the court orders.
Following the resolution of this legal battle, Ashok requested access to the property. However, he encountered another hurdle upon discovering Chelagoi's claim of ownership dispute.
I fought for 13 years against Jacob Juma, and legitimately I have been awarded the judgment, and after that now another person came with the fraudulent title and he's claiming that this is my property. How can this happen?
When both parties were contacted, Chelagoi was notably absent from the Chief Land Registrar's office. Magistrate Dolphin Aleo had previously issued an arrest warrant for Chelagoi after he failed to appear in court for plea taking.
Magnitude of the matter in issue, and at least the effort by the office of the CS to see how justice can be done to Mr. Ashok.
Chelagoi was jointly charged with Assistant Deputy Director in the Lands Administration Office, Andrew Aseri Kirungu. Mike Kagwango, TV 47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mike Kagongo, for that. Water Services Workers Union WASU is proposing for the amendment of the Water Privatization Amendment Bill number 33 of 2023, saying the bill is against the will of the people, having not gone through the public participation process as is required by law. Speaking at the Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company here in Nairobi, WASU Acting Secretary General Matilda Jebet says they are opposed to individualism in distribution of projects in the water sector, adding that the move to privatize public water sector is feigned to the law and it will disadvantage the local mwananchi. This comes even as the country prepares to host the Water and Sanitation Investors Conference beginning tomorrow, the 6th of March 2024, here in Nairobi, with over 1,000 participants expected to attend.
We ratified that convention in 2010 as Kenya. And after ratification, it was domesticated in this country. Human right under Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya. Human right, water now is a human right. It is unfair if you are telling now our mothers, our brothers, our communities, our businesses, that now they will be in the hands of private. We have an issue of job losses. We have here a law that is being proposed that ignores that there are workers in the water sector.
Was a purported public participation. But ask any citizen of this country whether there is a water bill at first. They will tell you hata hawajui kama kuna water bill, meaning they didn't even participate. Only the government who can give its citizens water services, and by that way, it is the only way that you will assure the people of Kenya that they are safe. True. For us as the citizen and as users, we trust government, not a privateer. We know a private will come and its only interest is about profit. True. We cannot accept. You are our representatives, and we will not take this one. You have disappointed us not once, not twice. We believe on this one.
Let's now make sense of the sense, shall we? Up next is business news. The Cooperative Bank of Kenya for the second consecutive year has been named the overall winner of the 2023 Banking Industry Customer Satisfaction Survey. The survey, conducted among 30,000 customers of Kenyan banks across the country, were released on Tuesday morning by the Kenya Bankers Association KBA, which awarded Cooperative Bank for excelling in customer service. Cooperative Bank Managing Director Gideon Muriuki says the bank will continue to invest substantial resources in building the teams, the tools, and the technologies to deliver a fulfilling customer experience across the bank's service channels. Cooperative Bank further says the 2023 survey provides valuable insights that will inform policies towards enhancing financial inclusion for the country's highly dynamic and diverse banking public through fact-based innovation.
Banks that prioritize the needs of customers will therefore continue to have a significant competitive edge over the rest in the industry. Second is preferences for mobile and online banking channels continue to grow, underscoring the importance of digital banking solutions.
This feedback will be instrumental in shaping not only our strategies but initiatives moving forward. And it serves as a commitment to delivering exceptional service to our customers. Today we celebrate the efforts made by our industry, and particularly our customer service teams. And I would like to thank the Customer Service Working Group for their dedicated role in ensuring that every year we can carry out the survey.
And persistently we have seen since the inaugural survey in 2018 that the customers are increasingly having multiple banking relationships. From the 2023 survey, we were able to see that over half, actually 62% of the respondents have more than one banking relationship.
That's a business news for tonight. Let's get sporty. Now, athletes staged a go-slow on day one of the 2024 All-Africa Games trials at Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi on Tuesday. The morning protest was as a result of what they claimed to be a few slots set by the Kenya National Sports Council. Athletics Kenya was forced to consult with the Ministry of Sports, leading to the increase of slots subject to the athletes meeting the qualification criteria. In some selected results, Kipng'etich Ng'eno and Wycliffe Kinyamal qualified for the final of the men's 800 meters, while David Sanayek and Mary Mora dominated in their respective 400 meters semis. Wednesday is the final day of the trials.
Kwa all events wakimbiaji ni 30 na kila event ni moja na kuna ile yenye iko na 0, so hatujui ni kwa nini, but for us athletes Venye umeona tumekuwa hapo kwa uwanja, wamekataa wakimbii mpaka tupate chipu. Hivi kama timu itakuwa selected ni top 3 kwa kila event. Ukiangalia hata ukikuja kwa hii sports, athletes ndio huwa wana market Kenya, ndio wanaleta medals. So we need to be answered by CS na Sports Council. Why?
The Confederation of Africa Football Inspection Team is scheduled to visit Kenya in a few days to inspect the stadia ahead of the 2024 African Nations Championship. Currently, Kakamega County-based Buhungu Stadium is under renovation and is unlikely to pass the test during this window. The CAF review team will visit proposed venues in Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania for the continental showpiece. They will start in Uganda on March 6th and 7th, followed by Kenya, Zanzibar and Tanzania.
ODM. Ati 0.5 ya puzi ODM. Simu mimi amenipigia simu.
It is exactly 30 minutes past the hour. We thank you for staying with the Daily Report right here on TV 47. Now, as is the norm every Tuesday, we bring you the People's Court. And the focus tonight is on matters hearing. Now, the World Hearing Day is held on 3rd March each year, and this is to raise awareness on how to prevent deafness and hearing loss, to promote ear and hearing care across the world. As we're speaking, our guests are already